Welcome back for another video. It's Ahbad, and we're back in Raid. There's a few things going on that I feel are probably worth speaking about. The first one will be a little bit of, I don't know, a bit of gloating. I think I called the Lunar Festival Titan event correctly. Decided very early on that I was basically going to put zero effort into it. You can see I've picked up a few points along the way, but not a great deal. And I think the schedule's been brutal, absolutely punishing, and every single event has had really high point requirements. And I'm not a massive fan of Champion Chase during 2x Sacreds because I actually think you have to pull a lot of Sacreds to be hitting the high numbers. We don't get them like the same frequency that we get, say, Ancient Shards or Void Shards, particularly Ancient Shards. So it's a very expensive event. And moreover, we now have a Lunar Deck of Fate. And basically, we have Fatalis Blade Master. If we check the old news, we have a summoning event, essentially. So, opening shards. Let's be honest, the Dungeon Divers part of this is basically irrelevant. It's opening shards for Fatalis. If we believe that the points will be consistent with previous ones, this is a 20 sacred event. If that is the case, I will go for it. Don't think Fatalis is that great. I mean, look at these ratings. That's shocking. This is okay. I mean, let's be honest, we're basically going to be crit capping him, so you do get a 15% ignore defense, which is never bad. And you have a chance of an extra turn, which is also not bad. So the A1 is pretty decent. The A2, we do like the ignore of strengthened stone skin, increased defense and ally protection. Really useful if you're going up against net crit. And again, we have a 15% defense ignore. The decreasing target's attack is actually also pretty good. Then the A3, again, ignore a flat amount of defense, and you have a decreased defense mechanic, which is again pretty good. And then the A4, which is basically an unlock, has a huge ignore defense, fills champion turn meter. I haven't actually read these before, by the way. And this is actually really good. When a skill cannot be decreased by enemy passives, it's like really useful against, say, Duchess, for instance, Pythian, Harima, Rotos. So there's quite a number of instances where this is useful. I would say the reason he probably has bad ratings is this is an unlock, which is generally problematic, and you have to use 3 champion skills. You've got to go. It has to be a long fight for you to get to this. So that's potentially a bit of a problem. I don't know what his multipliers are like, but he is an HB-based champion with no extra attack mechanic, and typically they don't do good damage. Good HP dealing damage dealers, people like Magnar and Co have a double hit. Taras is just plain busted, has a Seer style increase to his damage, but this champion doesn't seem to have any natural way that he is going to be doing good damage. So I think that could be why the scores are particularly bad. Now, typically we would always say pick up a Void Legendary because you never know when they're going to be buffed. But given that these are limited time champions, I don't know if they're actually going to revisit them. Tricky, isn't it? I mean, I still will pick him up. I didn't do the hero path, so I don't have Alteron. And the only one I actually want is in the Barbarians. Will they give us a guaranteed for Archer? I don't know. Who knows? But this is by far the best one. This is the one that everyone actually wants. And we'll have basically had, one as a login, 3 guarantees. So the only one that we haven't had a guaranteed or a guaranteed chance to get so far is Archer. And we'll see. Maybe they'll throw a final chance to do it before the collaboration ends. Once people have tried to summon enough times and they've made enough money to justify the collaboration. It could be that. The next thing I want to talk about is Champion Training Event. This is actually worth doing, whether you're doing the Lunar points or not. There's only 100 Lunar points in here anyway. What we do have, Greater Oil, we have Essence. It's only 10 tier 1, but still not bad. A Void Shard, 75 Superior Oil. This is worth a lot. It takes a lot of energy to get 75 Superior Oil. You are picking up Dust twice as well, and Dust is useful. 100 Gems, Primal Shard, Soulstone, and Legendary Tome. This is a really good event. I really like this. All of it's good. And 13,000 points over 5 days. It's eminently doable. I think everyone, no matter whether you were early game, end game, or anything in between, you should absolutely do this Champion Training Event. Absolutely. I'm skipping Dragon because I don't care about getting Dragon gear at the moment, and Stalwart just been left behind. I think a lot of those early game sets, there's been so much power. I wouldn't even call it power creep, it's power surge these days, and we'll get onto that in a minute. Ice Golem, I'll be skipping that again as well. And I'm skipping the Champion Chase. I am actually going to do a bit of soul chasing though. Again, I'd recommend absolutely everyone to get at least the 30 for the 300 energy, if not really the 130 for the gems. I have quite a number of tier 1 soulstones saved up, and I kind of want to pull them to see if I get useful souls. So I'll probably push a bit higher. Maybe I'll get to the Void or the first Legendary Tome. It all depends on how lucky you are, really. Basically, because one big pull and you get a lot of points, but the expected points is very, very low. Now, we were talking about power surge, and that kind of leads neatly into the upcoming fusion. So we got White Queen Ancora, just crazy champions. Both her and her partner are absolutely crazy. So you got 50% chance to decrease cooldown random skill on the A1, which is always really, really good. To be honest, it's a good A1. It's a bit RNG, so it's a bit hit and miss. You can't necessarily rely on it, but it can be clutch. And I think in arena settings, having a little bit of favorable RNG can be the difference, particularly end game tag team or high end live arena. It's pretty good. Yeah, so just having that chance to get one of your champion skills back sooner, and 2 turns is quite a big amount. And then you got this: if the cooldown is fully reset, heals by 10%. And quite a lot of people, they only get the heals 10%. That's and it's considered a decent A1. There's a few champions where when they attack, they heal by 10%, and that's generally a pretty good situation. So with this one, you've got a double effect basically, and both effects are good. There's who else has this kind of A1? I think it's that. It's also in Night Revenant, the Speed Epic. I've just completely forgotten the name. I could check actually. I'll check in game because it's annoying me. Where are we? Golden Reaper. That's it. Yeah. And Golden Reaper is a 50%, but only reduces by 1 turn, whereas this reduces by 2 turns. And so that's pretty good. Then we've got a full cleanse with a shield, which is pretty good generally, and you get strengthen and TM fill if the partner's on the team. But even without that, full cleanse and shield is pretty good. I would have to say that personally, if you've got a full cleanse, you really kind of want block debuffs to go along with that. The best cleansers tend to put block debuffs out as well. I'm thinking Elva and Pythian for instance. But this is still very, very good. Particularly, again, if you've got the partnership, because getting strengthened alongside a full cleanse and the shield buff is pretty damn good. And you also get this TM fill, which I think I read that will happen either way. I think the if only applies to that strengthen buff, but we'll see. Then the A3 single target revive. How does that stack up against Elva? Elva is a Sylvan Watcher. So Elva gets on a 3-turn cooldown, same, a 40% HP and 50% turn meter, and then adds a little bit of buffs on them as well. And here we're getting 50% HP and 75% turn meter. That's a lot. And then resets the cooldowns of the revived allies' skills. That reminds me quite a lot of Godseeker. What does Godseeker have? That's the exact reference. 50% HP, 50% turn meter, and resets their skills. So again, this is better with the 75% turn meter. One of the best single target revivers in the game was always Raglin. That's 75% HP and a full turn meter. So yeah, it's still not quite at Raglin's levels, but like really, really good. And then again, if you've got white or right, I'm not sure, King Narcisse, he gets 100% turn meter. So that's going to be a pain if you fight this partnership. And it could be in live arena, you'll get what people pick: Taras, Marichka, and then this duo. And you've got to, you only can ban one of them. So good luck. Good luck in high-end live arena if they're in that situation. Because if you don't have these champions and you come up against people that have them all, you've got absolutely no chance now. Absolutely none. Because you can only ban one. Like, who are you going to ban? Anyway, and then the passive, basically, you can't CC any ally. Does have a 3-turn cooldown, so you could kind of double crowd control. That's pretty tough. I mean, people barely crowd control as it is because of polymorph. It's already hard enough, and then you've got this as well. I mean, it's really good for PvE, to be honest. I'm thinking one of the best places for this is actually Amius, who does both a stun. It does a stun and a sleep. Ideally, you'd actually want to be cleansing the stun. The sleep is something that you cannot resist and cannot block. So this could be quite interesting in that regard, because maybe only this champion would get sleeped as a result, because sleep would be transferred. Also, you're probably going to get the sleep first. Curious. I think that would be interesting to see how that works with Amius. But already, with a cleanse, a single target revive, and the A1, this actually looks like a really good kit to help beat Amius. For anyone struggling, where you are allowed to use this champion, I think that's an interesting one. Then what do we say here? So if White King Narcisse, she also then cleanses herself of those debuffs. So getting pretty strong. And then a speed aura. So yeah, I think she's going to be great everywhere, to be honest. PvE, PvP. Fantastic support champion. If you're early game, she'll be an absolute carry throughout. And if you're mid to late game, there's still places you'll find to use her. She's pretty much like a must get, to be honest. Like she's S tier. You have to pick her up. There's really no reason not to. Obviously, the reason not to is if you can't. But if you have any capability of doing it, I think you have to go for her. Right, let me click on to the next one. White King Narses or Right King Narses. I don't know. Depends whether it's a silent W or W. I'm not sure. Anyway, Corruption Scepter attacks one enemy, and he can reduce the increase the cooldown of the target skill. So you've got a nice little bit of complementary there. She's decreasing the cooldown of your team skills, and he's increasing the cooldown of the enemy's skills. Interesting. And then you have the big one. Attacks all enemies, ignores 25% of the target's defense. Now you see we were just looking at Fatalis, and we were like, oh, Fatalis ignores 15%. That's pretty good. Void Legendary. No, this is a Void Legendary. This is a Void Legendary they don't give you for free in any way, shape, or form. Because not only do you get 25% ignore defense, you also get an extra hit if they've got a shield or strengthen. So what does that mean? Bolster, wrecked. Marishka, wrecked. Duchess actually puts out a shield on each of on her and another ally. That's pretty strong against Duchess. Who else typically puts out shields? Brogni is another support. Necrit. So Necrit's big, obviously. Duchess is big. Marishka are big. Those are kind of meta champions. And you're going to ignore them all. Strengthen and shield also is Mithrala. Mithrala is another big PvP champion. Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, I mean, that's just... It's gonna hit like a truck. You just know it is. Double hit with a 25% inbuilt ignore defense. You add Savage or Merciless on top of that, plus Helm Smasher. You're going to be doing some crazy numbers. And then this a 3 double hitter, which is always good if you want to kill someone like Rotos. It's also good if you're going up against a team that has Ultimate Death Knight. Oh, Ultimate Death Knight. There's another champion that brings the shields. So, double hit AoE, again, bypassing the Necrit. Not the Necrit, the Ultimate Death Knight. Double hit means the second hit will also hit your target. And if it hits really hard, you'll probably just kill that target with one hit anyway. Increase the damage inflicted by the skill for each buff on the target. The Taras style. And then another 10% for each buff on this champion. Right. So if they have buffs and you have buffs, oh my god, this is going to hit like a truck. And then it blocks revive. Oh, and if the other one's on the team, it's extra turn. So you remember when they not first released, but for those who played for a while, Rotus's A3 used to just block revive straight out. And it was kind of broken because you could bet he could just pretty much kill through anything. We didn't even have Stone Skin back then or Ultimate Death Knight. So if he got a turn, he's just block reviving and killing someone straight away. I kind of feel that in the buff heavy meta that we currently have, where debuffers still struggle, and although Polymorph is going to take a small nerf, let's be honest, we now have 9-piece protection, which means 75% chance to have protected buffs anyway. So even if you are not running Polymorph, people can't really debuff you anyway, because a lot of people can end up with either protected block debuffs, protected unkillable, this kind of stuff, protected increased defense, increased attack, whatever. And we have the actually guaranteed protected buffs as well, like Marishka's Strengthen. This champion's just going to straight out train wreck, block revive, game over. I could see so many instances where, I already avoid Taras in live arena, to be honest. He's like my most banned champion. And I'm pretty cautious about fighting him in tag team. I think this champion's just going to be even worse. It's crazy power surge. Like, yeah, we need to do something to combat Mariska Taras, but adding even more powerful champions on top, I think it's just going to create an even bigger skew and imbalance into the game when you have 800 to 900 champions and you're basically making 4 of them just head and shoulders better than the rest. Yeah, I don't like to be negative. I try not to be, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling not to be anything other than negative, unfortunately. I mean, the champions are amazing. Obviously, go for the fusion. Hope you summon the other one, and see. But I kind of, truth be told, I think my negativity in this regard is actually coming from the fact that I've played the game nearly 4 years, and I think it's beginning to run its course. But yeah, I'll carry on playing for a short while longer, but I'm not sure if I'll play. I probably won't still be playing in 6 months' time, unless like the trajectory of the game changes massively and I refined the enjoyment and fun I once had. But let's summon some soul stones. We get 58 points, which means we must have got something that's not completely terrible. We actually should also double check what our wish list is. It's always better to check that before you start summoning rather than after. Legendary Foley. I don't have Foley, so that's not going to be doing much for me. Wish list. Ramantu. Yeah, there's Harima, and yeah, that looks fine. On the epic side, maybe we don't really need Ugo. Maybe someone else would be more fun. But I mean, look how many epics there are. Oh man, how are you meant to pick? How are you meant to pick? I don't even actually have her, but I would love the dwarf. Yeah, whatever she is. I can't even see it. The one that I need to be able to beat Earth City. Yeah. No one that's really going to completely change anything for me, to be honest. Always the difficulty with epics these days. I feel like they've been power surged, the word of the day, so much by all the legendaries that they're just not quite. Actually, I'm going to go for Sinasha. There we go. That'll be good. I'd quite like to get Sinasha. Right, let's summon a few more and see what we get. So one, oh yeah. I think that's a higher soul than one of my two. See what we got here. Timid and Loreka. Nothing too much. Tilak. 49. Doom Priest Cormac. 61. Oh. Gahol. But we're never actually going to get the mythical anyway, so does it really matter? Right, we could at least increase the umbral. Do a little bit of oh, we got a Cormac. There we go. First Star of Awakening on Cormac. Yes, the soul bond is increased from 2 to 3. We got a second soul for this Soul Drinker, who's still just chilling there as a 5-star. First star for Jamasa. And second star for Coffin Smasher. Anyone else that looked like... I mean, we could just do the Timid. Let's just go send you. Escape. We go straight back to that screen. So we can do the first star of Awakening. And let's see how we're getting on in the old tournament. 247. We're not getting fantastic luck. I do want to summon a few more. These typically are worth very little when we have triple event anyway. Venomage wishlist, yes, and it was Morag. That was the name of the dwarf that I was trying to remember. But I'm happy with getting a Venomage soul, because Venomage is very good for Amius, and having a high awakening for Amius actually makes quite a big difference. So the other thing we need to do, go back here, collect our coins. We can, I think I do have a duplicate, so we can just sell the duplicate. And then I'm basically going to sell anything that's 3-star or below on a rare that I don't even use, because these rares are just so not worth anything anymore. There's only a handful of rares you ever actually build. They've all been kind of power crept so much. I believe my versions of those are all already awakened, because we would have seen them otherwise. And Sepulchre is also already on a higher awakening. But we can do Tarchon, who's just there as a 4-star. Then the rest are fine. Right, we've got a few more we can summon. I'll probably, I don't know how many I'm going to do, to be honest. Let's just summon and summon and summon. 91, or we might get something half decent here. Let's let it go slow. A Bambus. We do actually have Bambus. Gerda, I think I still haven't actually summoned. But you can see how bad the wish list is. Like, it never triggers. That's actually my first Madame Serious Soul. Right, we'll do that. And Lethalin. One of the nice things about having so many of the epics in the game is that I can use so many of the souls. And then Bambus, I'll just do the same thing. I'll ascend to... No, I can't ascend the second level. We can't. We're out of that. Let's see how we've done on the Soul Chase. I still kind of wanted to get to the Void. I think I will. We're 425, 545. Yeah. It's a good chance for me to do these souls, because I've been, saving them for so long, or growing my number of souls. How much more do we need to do? 45. Probably, say, another 10 pull. Get us most of the way there. 32. Which means we got nothing. We know already. 32, so we need... What was it, 12? Do it one at a time. Visionary... Oh, a 30. I don't know what 30 is, but it's not trash. A 5-star Master Butcher. Does anyone need a 5-star Master Butcher? Not sure. But we have one. Bambus we can't do yet. Okay, cool. Well, it's a little bit long as a video goes. We didn't end up getting to the legendary book, but we did get a Void Shard, and I'd been wanting to summon my large stockpile of tier 1 soul stones for a while in the hunt for souls, and we'll keep on hunting. I'll go back to buying now. In here, at the moment I'm just waiting to get the 6-star on Duchess. Also, because I missed the Titan event because I was traveling at the time, I want to keep buying Sun Wukong as well. I find really the 4th and 6th star are just way too expensive in the shop. Like, they're so expensive. When you have like 300 of each of the essences to buy the 4th and the 6th, it makes it really, really challenging. And when you go to these things and you're happy to see 15 essence, and you realize that you need 300 or 400 to do both tier 3 and 4. It's like, 15 is nice, but it's a lot less than you need. Anyway, that's that for this video. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, both in the game and out. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.